local, late-breaking. This is WDSU News at 6.
Right now at 6, staying alert as Tropical Depression Harvey tries to further organize in the Gulf of Mexico. In Texas, the storm is expected to cause widespread flooding as it makes landfall this weekend. Many people there already stocking up on the essentials from water to gas. And right here in southeast Louisiana, an early warning. Get ready now. Good evening. I'm Scott Walker.
And I'm Sela Kim. Tonight we have team coverage of the situation with concerned city leaders in New Orleans and many lower-lying parishes worried about potential flooding. But we begin with Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr with a look at what's happening in the Gulf. Margaret.
Harvey is a tropical depression and it's forecast to become a hurricane before it makes landfall. Right now it's barely moving to the northwest at about 2 miles per hour. Here is a look at Harvey. Notice how it has had a flare up of activity lately. That's because it's over very warm water. Look at our visible satellite imagery, and I've put a black background in there so that you can see the clouds really clearly. And it's obvious we've got a big old circulation going on. Hard to see where the center is. I put it right about in here. Notice less activity on the west side. We have dry air there. More activity on the east and on the north side, and it extends pretty far to the north to just off our coast. There again, a look at these storms that are building and not much movement. The dry air on the west side, no real strong winds aloft. This upper low did cause problems earlier for Harvey. Now it's beginning to dissipate. Look at these water temperatures in the mid to the upper 80s, and the approach over into southeast Texas, very warm water. We've got warm water along our coast too. There, a look at the forecast models, and do you notice they're basically doing a loop-de-loo? Look at the forecast. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, still over Texas, and that means a whole lot of rain. But also notice how big this cone is. That shows, you know what, the Hurricane Center is not real sure on where it's going to go. I've got a breakdown of that coming up in just a moment.
We're going to make sure the public is immediately updated. That's the reason why we're having this veil today. Out of abundance of caution, we want to make sure that the public has as much information as possible.
Preventing another August 5th flash flood incident, WDSU's Aubrey Killian continues our team coverage tonight. And Aubrey, how are officials addressing concerns about the city's readiness ahead of a possible tropical weather?
Well, hey, Sela, a lot to be concerned about and a lot to address as well. Now, we do know that 15 pumps are out, and the city says they don't know exactly how much rain it will take before a neighborhood could flood. So take a look. A news conference wrapped up about a few hours or so ago. Now, the city, though, says they have crews working 24/7 to get pumps that are down back up, but only 1 turbine and 3 pumps have been restored. Now, they say they have high water vehicles and boats on standby. They're also working to clean more catch basins. Now, after the flood, the mayor said 15,000 need to be cleaned, and today we just learned that just 800 have been cleaned. Now, portable pumps and generators are also out. The city stressed communication will be stronger with the public this time. Now, they're asking the public not to panic, but to have a plan.
What our focus right now, the mayor's focus and our entire team's focus is on is 3 things. 1, make sure that we get all of our power, all of our turbines, all of our power sources back up. 2, make sure that we get all of our pumps back up. We've got 3 back online since the August 5th incident, and then making sure that we got all the manpower that we need in order to make sure that all of Sewage and Water Board operates at its optimal capacity, especially on the drainage front.
So I did also ask about evacuations, if those are planned to be ordered. It's too early to tell at this time. The city says they're going to be monitoring this weather very closely and, of course, keeping the public informed as much as possible. Reporting live at City Hall, Aubrey Killian, WDSU News.
Aubrey, thanks. Right now, emergency management personnel are checking pumping systems in lower-lying parishes. The concern for many is manpower in areas closer to the coast. WDSU's Tammy Estwick live at Bellchase now, where leaders are a bit frustrated. Tammy?
Yeah, we just spoke to the parish president not long ago. He says he's frustrated because he requested 7 experienced pump operators, but instead he only got permission to hire 1 experienced person, the rest trainees.
Very frustrated because I don't think that we should be gambling with people's lives and property.
The parish president says he requested 7 experienced pump operators, but says the parish only voted to give them 6 trainees and the money to hire 1 experienced pump operator. So many of the pump operators will be inexperienced. 14
experienced pump operators and 22 pump stations, and you can do the math. It doesn't work. The 6 trainees that the council rebudgeted or put into the budget, they won't be trained until for another 5-6 months.
But a second problem is troubling the parish. 2 pump stations are not functioning at 100%. We're told crews are working to get the pumps back up and working. The problem spots are in 2 places. The Ollie pumping station, which has 1 pump not working out of the 6 pumps there. And at the Bell Chase number 2 station, which is operating at 75% right now. On Highway 23, we found Roxanne Tillotson. She owns her own photography studio. She's been there for 6 years and says she's concerned Harvey could hang around too long.
It would be devastating.
Her studio is like her baby, and she wonders if the pumps that are in place now would be enough to keep the water out.
So I guess it would be a concern if he would come and sit and, just pour rain on top of us.
At another nearby business, a worker showed us pictures of what Highway 23 looked like after a hard rain on May 31st of this year. Residents say they have faith in their parish government, but need assurances.
But hopefully our pumps are working and we won't have that problem.
Back to Bell Chase pumping station number 2. That pumping station only has 1 pump out, but still residents are concerned about how this can affect this area. Parish officials, however, saying there is another pumping station nearby that can handle the pumping for both of them. Tammy Eswick, WDSU News.
All right, Tammy, thank you. And as our meteorologists continue to track Harvey's path, you can stay updated with what's happening with the WDSU Hurricane Central app. You can find it in the Google Play or Apple app stores. And the deadline is fast approaching for homeowners who suffered flood damage last year, who is asking that it be delayed.
Plus, what was once put off is now back on again, almost, when the city says the second phase of the Bourbon Street Improvement Project will start and how much more it's going to cost.
A very talented and loaded backfield. I'm Sharif Ishak in Metairie, and coming up in sports, how Mark Ingram thinks it will work with Peterson, Kamara, and himself.
Right now, this just into our newsroom. A train derailment in Gretna is under investigation. The Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office right now diverting traffic from the area around 4th Street and Destrehan. So far, no injuries reported there, but drivers may want to avoid that area for now. Happening now, school leaders in New Orleans are hosting a town hall at Alice Hart Elementary to discuss the unification plan for this year and next. For the first time since Katrina, the Orleans Parish School Board will oversee all public schools in the city instead of the RSD. The transition is expected to be complete by July of 2018. The superintendent is discussing the changes now. 3 other public meetings are planned. There will be another meeting tomorrow at KIPP Central City.
The city continues to push forward with completing construction projects on Bourbon Street. In another update today, though, officials say a previously halted project will start back up next year. So reconstruction of the 500 to 800 blocks of Bourbon Street will be designed, bid, and awarded through a separate contract. Last week, WDSU told you the project had been temporarily stopped after the city cited unforeseen site conditions and budget issues. The goal is to start this phase in May 2018. The first phase includes the 100 to 400 blocks of Bourbon Street and is expected to be complete this December. The total estimate for the entire project is $13.3 million. Families impacted by the August 2016 flood still fighting for help from insurance companies, why some say not enough was done.
Tonight in prime time on WDSU, it looks like this. America's Got Talent at 7, 8 o'clock, Marlin, followed at 9 by Law & Order SVU. Then it's WDSU News at 10. Followed immediately by The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WDSU News at 6 with Scott Walker, Sulla Kim, Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr, and sports with Fletcher Mackel.
The man accused of killing a 15-year-old KIPP student has been found not guilty of several charges, including second-degree murder. But 22-year-old Eric Adams was found guilty of obstruction of justice in the 2012 death of 15-year-old Christine Marcelin. The KIPP Believe college prep student was found face down in a vacant lot on Alcee Forche Boulevard after she had been shot 14 times. Prosecutors claimed Adams felt the teen had set up his younger brother, who was killed, and that Marcelin was killed in retaliation. The defense maintained there is zero evidence Adams was near the area when Marcelin died. Adams now is scheduled to be sentenced in September.
I'm very upset about it. I want to be back in my house. I love it.
1 year after one of the worst floods in state history destroyed hundreds of homes and businesses, some people are still not back at home.
And time is running out on them to meet a deadline that many do not even know exists. So WDSU's Travis Mackel joins us live in the studio with more on who is asking that the deadline to file damage claims be delayed. Travers.
It's really important information, Scott and Saul. The state insurance commissioner has asked FEMA for an extension, and the state NAACP is also actively involved, asking for more time because they say if an extension is not granted, millions of dollars may be left on the table. Inside her historic home in Denham Springs,
There was a stove and a sink and a double oven.
Virginia Furman can still show off the damage from the summer flooding of 2016. It's the first time her raised home has taken on water.
I was just waiting, saying it's not going to come in, it's not going to come in, and then my neighbors came and made me leave.
The water damaged the floors, walls, electrical, and plumbing, among other things. And over the last 12 months, Furman says she's fought with her insurance carrier.
The insurance company doesn't want to give me but half of what is my claim.
So Furman has to file what's called a proof of loss form, required for a flood insurance claim. And she has to do it soon.
Well, the September 1st proof of loss deadline is crucial because if a homeowner lets this deadline pass without submitting a claim, a supplemental claim, then the insurance company, on a technicality, could forever bar that homeowner from getting the money they're owed.
New Orleans-based attorney Raj Pandit is representing more than 700 people who will take legal action against insurance carriers if they're not properly compensated.
They're trying to do everything they can to not pay these people.
The head of the Louisiana NAACP sent this letter demanding that the state ask for an extension on the September 1st deadline. And recently, Insurance Commissioner Jim Donnellan made that formal request. Good news for Furman, who wants to make sure people just get what they're owed.
I know a lot of people around here that don't know anything about a deadline, and it's very unfortunate. I wish I could go around the street and knock on all the doors and tell everybody.
And as we know, earlier this month in New Orleans, dozens of homes and businesses flooded. If you're curious and were affected by that August 5th flood in New Orleans, you have 60 days to file a claim to recoup your losses. That 60-day time frame started on August 5th.
I know you know Harvey is a depression forecast to be a hurricane before it makes landfall along the Texas coast. This is going to be the first hurricane to hit the Texas coast since September 13th, 2008. That was Ike. Ike was just a Cat 2, so a lot of people didn't take precautions. This will likely just be a Cat 1. The problem is it's going to cause a whole lot of rain. Real quickly, I want to show you some of the buoy data. There you can see the pressure is really falling. Wind's not too strong. I'm looking at the buoy that's right by this area of low pressure. And then as we go to the north, right along the coast of Texas, seeing that pressure drop, and where the pressure drops, that kind of indicates where the system is going to go. So let's look at the forecast. And I want you to notice this big cone. That's showing that the hurricane center isn't too sure where it's going to go. That's why the cone is so big. And also, when you look at this, you've got to keep in mind that this cone indicates Where a storm is going to go 2 out of 3 times. 1 out of 3 times, it's outside of the cone. So here is a look at the global forecast model. This is the American model. This is Saturday, and it's showing a whole lot of rain in southeast Texas. This is Sunday, still hadn't moved much. This is Monday, Houston down towards the coast, still hasn't moved much, and it's indicating the potential, if not going offshore, of staying along the coast. But regardless, a lot of that circulation over the water, and the water is the energy source. Water temperatures here in the upper 80s. This is Wednesday. It is still hanging out. Houston really at risk for very heavy rain, and then finally shooting off to the northeast. Here is the European model. Similar scenario Saturday. Sunday, more over Houston, and then swinging a little to the east as you go into Tuesday, and then it shoots off to the northeast. Not all models agree with this, but from the Hurricane Center, the potential for southeast Texas over 16.5 inches of rain. This is going to be a real flood. Going into southeast Louisiana and South Mississippi, the potential for 5 to 10 inches of rain. It all depends on the track. Here's one of the complicating factors. We're going to have a front moving to the coast. It's going to stall. Area of low pressure to the west, that's going to pump moisture to the north over this frontal boundary. And that's one other reason that we've got this rain chance. And then look at it. So the center is on the west side of it. There, I've just put it in. It's only moving northwest 2 miles per hour. There is a look at where we've got the hurricane watch. We've got very warm water. Warm water is the fuel for these systems, and the models are just all over the place. In fact, one of the really good models takes it to the southwest. But this is Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So that shows you how long they're going to have to deal with this. Meanwhile, there's our front to the north. We've had some rain. Just to the south, not a whole lot of rain today. Metro, a few sprinkles south of us. North Shore, you look good. We do have some rain and storms over by Wiggins. Had to show you this. Look. An alligator cloud. Desiree sent that in. Is that cool? You know, we need a little lightheartedness, right? And the pollen is now low. High temperature got hot today, 92 degrees. Right now it's 87. The wind southeast at 9. Across the area, upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Now, that feels like temperature 100 in Bogalusa. Going to 9 o'clock, we're upper 70s to the low 80s. Morning lows mid to the upper 70s, and your high temperatures tomorrow right there near 90 to the low 90s. So let's look at those rain chances. Tomorrow, I've got a 50% chance, mainly firing up in the afternoon. Friday, 50%. Saturday, rain chances go up, and it's really with the boundary that's in place and low pressure to the west. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we still have high rain chances.
Margaret, thanks. Next in sports, Saints veteran running back Mark Ingram talks about the rookie back Alvin Kamara and what he expects from the rookie this season.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Fletcher Macklin. So far, 2 very bright spots during Saints training camp and the team's 2 preseason games have been the linebacking core and the running backs. 3 new linebackers look like they'll start when the team is in its base defense. A.J. Klein, Manti Te'o, and rookie Alex Anzalone. And speaking of rookies, running back Alvin Kamara has been fantastic. For more on what veteran players think of him, and with an update on the veterans' playing status this weekend, here's sports anchor Sharif Ishak.
Drew Brees, Adrian Peterson, Mark Ingram, and Cam Jordan haven't touched the field yet this preseason, but that's going to change Saturday night when the Saints take on the Texans. Sean Payton wants his guys to play, but not sure how much they will actually play. Now, Ingram has had to watch the young guys from the sideline, including Alvin Kamara. And when Ingram sees Kamara break off a 50-yard TD run, he can't help but to get a little anxious to get out there.
Anytime somebody's making plays, makes you want to go out there and make plays too. You know, it's just the competitive nature of this game and the competitiveness that I have as a player. You know, he's been running real well. He's been doing real good.
And for Mark Ingram, it doesn't stop with Alvin Kamara when it comes to this backfield.
The young guys are all doing well. Cadet, Lasco, Trey, Vito. I mean, we have, this is probably one of the best rooms that I've ever been a part of. And I've been a part of a lot of great rooms here in New Orleans, but just from top to bottom, this is probably the best group. So we just got to keep, like I said, keep working, keep improving, keep growing every day.
And every day, many wonder, how will this work out with such talented backs who all want to be on the field contributing?
I want the ball, Adrian wants the ball, Alvin wants the ball, Cadet wants the ball, Lasco wants the ball, all of us want the ball. So, I mean, if you have a running back that doesn't want the ball, that's an issue. So, no, you just kind of just wait till your number's called and perform to the best, and hopefully that keeps getting your number called more and more.
With the three-headed monster of Ingram, Peterson, and Kamara, you start wondering what kind of role each player will have. Well, Ingram's response to that is, we don't sit around in the coaches' meeting talking about our roles. We just do what's asked of us. In Metairie, Sharif Ishaq, WDSU News.
College football and the LSU Tigers. Last night we heard from head coach Ed Ogeron, who told us he thinks senior QB Danny Etling will be a better player after having to battle highly touted freshman Miles Brennan in camp. Coach O officially named Etling the starter on Tuesday evening. One of the big reasons for the decision, he started 10 games last season, has a ton of respect in the locker room, and the maturity to handle high-pressure SEC games. This afternoon, Etling was asked about winning the job and being the starter.
I am? I'm just kidding. No, it's good. It feels awesome. It's definitely been a long road of college football for me. It's been up and down, and been through a lot, but just to kind of have that going into the season, being the starting quarterback for LSU is a tremendous feeling, and it's an honor, and I'm going to make sure I don't let any of my teammates down, or any of the coaches. So I'm going to do my best to prepare for every single game and make sure that no stone is left unturned, and that I'll be out there performing well for our team.
Tonight at 10, a preview of the Saints joint practice tomorrow morning with one of the big reasons for the decision, he started 10 games last season, has a ton of respect in the locker room, and the maturity to handle high-pressure SEC games. This afternoon, Etling was asked about winning the job and being the starter.
I am? I'm just kidding. No, it's good. It feels awesome. It's definitely been a long road of college football for me. It's been up and down, and been through a lot, but just to kind of have that going into the season, being the starting quarterback for LSU is a tremendous feeling, and it's an honor, and I'm going to make sure I don't let any of my teammates down, or any of the coaches. So I'm going to do my best to prepare for every single game and make sure that no stone is left unturned, and that I'll be out there performing well for our team.
Tonight at 10, a preview of the Saints joint practice tomorrow morning with the Houston Texans. It should be exciting. The third preseason game, always the most important one.
And then we can get the fourth over with and get the season started.
That's true.
That's where we're headed. Thanks, Fletch.
We have rain to talk about.
We do have rain chances. Quick look. Here is Harvey, forecast to make landfall along the coast of Texas, moving over very warm water, forecast to be a hurricane.
All right, Margaret, thank you.
That's it for us at 6. We'll see you at 10.